All right, a reminder, there's no video in this room. Our format will be with Coach Martin will make an opening comment, and then we'll take questions for the players. Please direct your questions directly to a player, and state your name and your affiliation when you ask the question.
Just for these guys to have never been on this stage, our school hadn't won one since '73. I'm just so proud of our guys. These two guys right next to me, they've carried the load for us all year, you know. And then you saw Justin Mackey today step up and give us tremendous minutes as a senior. Dwayne was phenomenal defensively. You know, had a chance to make some threes, but he was engaged. He was really engaged in what we were doing. So I'm just really proud of these guys. And we got a lot of work tonight, a lot of work tomorrow. But you know what? These kids have taken me in an unbelievable ride, and couldn't be prouder.
Question for the student athletes.
David Cloninger, the State. Guys, if you could both take this, what was the concentration at halftime? Because it seemed you were much more aggressive offensively, driving the ball in the second half.
Sindarius, why don't you take that first?
Just to stay consistent on defense. Just keep guarding them, keep staying them, make them take tough shots, and on offense, keep attacking. And we stay with it, stay with the game plan, and that's really it.
Just as Sin said, you know, just to stay aggressive defensively, you know, make our offense out of our defense just as we've been doing all year.
Vashti Hurt with Carolina Blitz. This is for Sindarius. The environment today was bananas. Can you talk about that, and did that help fuel you guys on the court?
Yeah, man, it was great. I mean, thank you to all the Gamecock fans that was here supporting us and that watched us on TV too. It was great. It helped the momentum, you know. When PJ got those couple fast break dunks and the atmosphere went crazy, it just gave us the confidence that we need to get over the edge and to push through the final minutes of the game.
Zach Brazil, New York Post. Sindarius, when you were serving your suspension, did you think about this possibly happening? And what did you kind of say to your teammates during that time? Because since you've come back, you've obviously probably played the best basketball of your career.
Yeah, I thought about it a little bit. When we took a couple losses, you know, I kind of faulted myself for that, you know, those losses, because I feel like some of those losses wouldn't have happened if I was to play. But you know, I stayed positive as I could. Tried to coach from the sideline and just stick with them. And you know, when hopefully by the time it was time for me to come back, you know, we could pick up where we was at when I was playing, and you know, and that's what we did throughout the season. We just kept working and kept grinding and made it here.
Dick Cox with Cox Sports Broadcasting. This is for both players. You're both from South Carolina. How does it feel to get to play an NCAA game in your home state and get a win in your home state?
It's amazing. You know, the first dream is just to make it to the NCAA tournament. You know, and then playing in your backyard is even more greater. You know, it's just a blessing to be able to play in front of our fans. You know, like Sin said, you know, we just thank them. You know, for coming in and fueling us to come out and play hard, just what we've been doing.
That's what we signed up for. We signed up, you know, to put this program in a situation where when it's time to leave, you know, we're competing with the best teams in the country, and you know, making it here and playing here in South Carolina just makes it even better, and that's really it.
Dave Cloninger with the State again, guys. Do you think Dwayne doesn't get enough credit for his on-the-ball defense? It seemed like he was really locked in all game, but a lot of times people talk about the shot blockers of the Steelers. How good is he defensively?
Me personally, I feel like he should have made the all-defensive team. You know, he heats them up. You know, everybody talks about our defense and talk about me stealing the ball or, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, Dwayne don't get enough credit for what he does, how he heats point guards up, how he rattled them. You know, he get them playing at half court, and it's easier for us to get in line and do stuff like that. But, you know, I feel like Dwayne, one of the best, if not the best, on-ball defender in our conference.
Right.
Zach Brazil, New York Post. For either of the players, what do you expect Sunday to be like? Probably the biggest game in program history in decades, and you have it in your backyard, you know, against one of the national title contenders.
Sindarius, why don't you take that first?
Duke's great, man. You know, they're a good team. They have good players. we're going to do what we do. We're going to come in and play hard. We're going to prepare tonight when we get back, prepare tomorrow, and, the game still got to be played. We're going to, when the game's tipped, we're going to try to do what we do, and that's really it.
David Caravello, Post and Courier. Sindarius, can you appreciate what this means to so many people in South Carolina, given that it's been so long since the program's done this?
Yeah, man, it's great, man. That's what we play for. We play for, those fans that, that's been supporting the basketball program for so long and, haven't seen that much success, but still supported them, still came to the games. And, even when I first got to school here, the gym was empty. It was cold some games. We still had some fans that was there supporting us loud and proud. And, those are the fans that we really get up for. Those are fans that we really appreciate. Not saying we don't appreciate everybody, but, those fans means a lot to us.
Kyle Heck with Spurs and Feathers. PJ, you seemed really intent on driving the basketball and had a lot of finishes at the rim. Was using your height advantage something you were focusing on doing?
Yeah, just the coaching staff continues to tell me to, stay aggressive, attack the rim. Being 6'6", 6'7", that's what you have to do. You have to put pressure on the rim, and, I feel like that's when I play my best basketball.
All right, we're going to let the players go back to the locker room. Thank you, gentlemen. Questions now for Coach Martin.
David Cloninger with the State. Frank, in the first 10 minutes with the three-pointers, were you happy with the shot selection, or would you have preferred to be a little more aggressive like you guys ended up being in the second half?
You talking about us? Two good shots. Got to make them. It's you can't pass up. You can't tell good players to pass up open shots. It just I had no problem with what we were doing offensively. We just missed.
Coach, it's Ryan Clary, Fox Sports Spartanburg. As Sindarius mentioned, when you first got here, the place was empty. A lot of home games, and you see tonight, it's been 44 years, but you see tonight how hungry Carolina fans were. Anytime there was a basket, they were jumping to their feet. From where you started to tonight's atmosphere, can you just talk about the difference between the two and the journey along the way with it when it comes to fan support like you saw tonight?
Our school's got unbelievable fans. They're just incredible. They're rabid about our school, and that's, that's why coaches, whether it's, Coach Spurrier, Coach Tanner, Don, whoever, that's why they come and they love it. It's the support. You go to a soccer game, it's sold out. You go to a volleyball game, it's sold out. We lead it's 2 years in a row, we lead the country in attendance when you combine men and women's basketball together. We had more fans at our open practice yesterday. I'm not talking about total fans. I'm not about Gamecock fans than we had at the first game I ever coached at the Colonial Life Arena. It's fun right now. You're 13th in the country in total attendance. I knew that if we could build it, and there was a big if, but if we could build it and we play the kind of basketball that I like my team to play, that our fans would absolutely love it. And it's starting to happen. We're not there yet. But it's starting to happen.
Coach Craig Peterson from the Paladin. In the first half, Marquette shot 50% from three, and in the second, they shot 25%. Like, what led to that change?
We made some. Our guys were nervous. Our guys. They, you know how hard they've worked to get to this moment, and we lost some hard games at the end of the year. The public opinion is that we stunk and we didn't play well. We played hard. We just missed shots coming down the stretch, and we played postseason teams on their courts, and they beat us. So we were a little gun-shy coming out of the regular season. Once our name went up on the board and I saw our guys' demeanor in practice, the looseness, the confidence, the aggressiveness, I knew we were going to play well. But I also knew we had to get past the initial hit of being nervous. I don't care how many times you coach or play in the NCAA tournament, that first game when the ball goes up, you're nervous. I don't care what anyone says. And I think as the half went on, that first half, we settled down. We started guarding the ball better. Our ball screen defense got better. We made some mistakes off the ball, but you know what? Marquette's good. They're not here by mistake. Offensively, they're very, very good. And they made us, every time we made a mistake, they made us pay. But as the game went on, I think we kind of settled down. And when you play a jump shooting team, our defense is predicated to try and slow people down as the game wears on. And I think, I don't want to speak for for Marquette or for Wojo, but I think that they weren't as clean shooting the ball coming down the stretch as they were early in the game.
Coach. Paul Martin, Spartanburg Herald-Journal. Obviously, Sindarius has had a fantastic year, and he's carried this team on his back sometimes. How did he get some help tonight, and how was that key to the win?
Yeah, I kind of bothers me when I continue to read media saying that we're a one-man team. You don't get to the NCAA tournament riding one guy. We're a team. We got guys that play together. We've had some great wins this year, and that's because we played the game together. Too much attention has been paid to the game against Alabama where his numbers were astronomical. And you know what? He carried us that day because I called every single play for him. That came from me. But as a team, these guys, PJ, Dwayne, they've been tremendous. The one thing that goes without being said sometimes is that outside of those three seniors, we are very, very young. And those young kids have ups and downs. Not too many people with freshmen have success at the end of the year or get to this tournament. Those young kids have been great. Rolf Felder today, just fearless. They made a run. He came down. He shot a three like, this is what I do. And I'm sitting there saying, wow, look at this young buck, fearless of the moment. And then he came down and he drove it and scored over their big guy. But they're young. They made mistakes early, and as the game went on, we settled down. But Sin's a stud. Sindarius is a stud. He's a winner.
In the front.
Coach, Heath Klein, Wilson, 5 the game. Some of the things you did defensively in the second half, just wondered how you decided to make some of the moves. Like, for example, the trap to set up the dunk to make it 55-49. Was that something you planned the whole time, something you saw? Just what led you to do that?
Yeah, I didn't want to zone them when they had in a close game, when they had certain lineups in the game. Because they just got too many, they can really pass and too many shooters. But once certain players went in the game, I knew I wanted to zone because they're that good offensively. You can't give them the same look over and over and over. And when I saw certain subs in the game, we went to our half-court trap, deal, and it worked out. Sometimes you do things and it doesn't work out. It worked out today, and I'm real proud of those guys.
Final question from Mr. Iacobelli.
Pete Iacobelli, Associated Press.
You know him?
I do know him. Yeah.
Wow.
Many years.
How about that? Frank, I know you get in that SEC bubble when the season starts. How much do you know about Duke? Have you seen them a bunch this year, just flipping channels and watching them play?
Yeah, I haven't watched Duke play since they've had their team healthy. I love watching Coach K's teams. I watched them a lot in non-conference play. Once we get to SEC basketball, I kind of just zero in on our team and on our opponents in the league, and so I really haven't watched them. I've got a reporter night tonight. I kind of joked to you guys the other day about sleeping till 10 in the morning. Well, I got to live your life today. I'll be up writing my story till about 4 o'clock in the morning, and but I don't get to sleep till 10 tomorrow. I got to wake up early and get these guys ready to go. I'm a huge, huge fan of Coach Case. I've said this story before. I think you've heard me. Back as a high school senior, we lost to Tommy Amaker at the Beach Ball Classic in Myrtle Beach, and I loved how he played. And so I said, I need to watch that guy play in college. And I started watching Duke, and you had him on the ball, Johnny Dawkins in the passing lanes and all that. So between my high school coach and watching Duke defend is how I've kind of developed my philosophies defensively. And I'm a big fan of Coach K. What he does for this game across the board, not just Duke basketball, across the board, is phenomenal. We coached against each other once before, and they beat us up pretty good. Kyrie Irving was unguardable that night, and but they were good. We need to be real good to be able to compete with a team like Duke in a couple days.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.